Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, as you know that in my last video I started explaining chapter 1, the summer of a white beautiful horse in your snapshots. Today we will continue with the same chapter. So with the help of PowerPoint presentation, we will try to understand the chapter in deeply. Let us begin. The summer of the beautiful white horse. The summer of the beautiful white horse. Written by William Saroyan. As of now, dear students, we have discussed how Aram and Murad started riding on the horse. Later, Murad offered that he would ride alone, and then Aram got down and Murad was riding alone. We also discussed about Armenia. Okay, so a lot of discussion regarding this chapter was done in my last video, so you can watch my last video regarding the same. Yes, so from this slide we are going to start. So as of now we have seen this one line by line explanation already done in another video, you know very well, and the whole chapter also has been explained in online classes. This is the third time when we are going to revise this chapter. Okay, so once again this time I am going to explain, you know, line by line, because we have enough time for revision, and you can clear your all doubts regarding all the chapters. We have enough time for the same. Some of our neighbors we belonged, we let the horse run as long as I felt running. At last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." "Well," I said, anyway you have with a horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked the heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazire, run." The horse stood on his hind legs, snorted, and burst into a flurry of speed. That was the loveliest. So dear students, when they started riding, after riding some time, Murad told Aram to get down as he wanted to ride alone. Aram put a condition that he would only if he would get down if Murad also him also let him ride alone. Okay, so at this he said, if you can communicate well to the horse, if you can communicate well to the horse, you can also ride. Thing I had ever seen, my cousin Murad raced the horse across the field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned. dripping wet. The sun was coming up. Now it's my turn to ride, I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Right, he said. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful for imaginable. The horse did not move. Okay. Sorry, dear students, for interruption. Let us continue. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Right, he said. I leaped to the horse. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. Aram got down the horse. Murad got down the horse and now Aram, he rode on the horse. But he found that the horse did not move. The horse was not moving when he rode on it. Kick into his muscle, my cousin Murad said. What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before every day in the world is up and about. So further he said, kick in the muscles. What are you waiting for? Because very soon everyone would wake up and we won't be able to hide the horse. So here students, somehow they got the horse and now everyone was awake and it is a question for them where they could hide the horse. Finally he decided to hide the horse at a place. It seems that it was a place where he had been hiding the horse since long. So that is why Aram guessed that Murad must have stolen the horse since long. Okay, that is why he asked, how long had you been riding this horse before this morning? So he replied that I have started riding since this morning only when you have seen the horse. Okay. Here you can see their student deserted vineyard of Fetvezian where he used to hide the horse. Where Aram used to hide the horse. Okay. So when Aram fell off the horse. Then they both ran behind the horse. Finally, they got the horse and so confidently Murad told him that he could hide the horse at a place. The name of the place was Deserted Vineyard of Fet Vazian. As you can see in this slide, it is the place. So at this, Aram guessed that he must have stolen the horse. He must have stolen the horse. That is why he knew the place very well where he could hide the horse. This is the old parlor for coffee and tobacco, dear students. You can see here. Sad and devastated John Biro. So here you can see the picture of sad and devastated John Biro, whom the horse belonged to. This is Uncle Khusro. Okay, so whom the horse belongs to. As you know that we have gone through the story 2-3 times, so you know it very well. Now dear students, what happened in the story? Not until this morning, he said. Are you telling the truth? As he replied that he did not go for riding before that morning. So that is why Aram asked whether he was telling the truth. Of course not, he said. But if we are found out, that's what you are to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. He said, if we found out, so the same thing we have to say, so that we are not found to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning. All right, I said. He walked at horse quietly to the barn of the deserted vineyard, which at the time had been the pride of the farmer named Fedvazian, which we have seen in the last slide. Let me show you once again. This is the place, dear students, okay, about which it has been discussed. It is deserted vineyard of Fedvazian. Okay. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of the farmer named Fedvazian. There are some, there are some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. We began walking home. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. At first it wanted to run wild, but as I have told you, I have a way with the horse. I can get it want to do anything I want to do. Horses understand me. So here, dear students, Murad told Aram that he was able to communicate with the horse. That is why he was able to operate the horse. He said whatever he would want, the horse would do. It means he had a good communication. So this chapter also tells us that communication does not only plays a very important role among human beings, but also it applies on animals and even non-living things. If you can communicate properly with the things, then you will be able to operate them easily. If you cannot communicate with the things, then it will be a problem while operating the things. Okay. So he said, I can operate this horse, handle this horse, because he understands me, because the horse could understand what he was saying. It means he could communicate with the horse, and when Aram started riding the horse, he could not operate the horse because he could not communicate well with the horse. So how communication plays a very important role in our life. If you talk to someone and very soon your discussion takes the place of, if you discuss on any issue and very soon your discussion takes the place of argument, so it means you are not able to communicate well. So these things are the parts of personality development. These things are the part of communication. Okay, so we must know how to communicate. How do you do it? I said. I have an understanding with a horse, he said. Yes, but what sort of an understanding? I said. A simple and honest one, he said. Well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with a horse. You are still a small boy, he said. When you get to be 13, you will know how to do it. He said still, he told Aram that he was still a small boy. When he would turn 13, he would get to know all these things. I went home and ate a hearty breakfast. That afternoon, my uncle Khusro came to our house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Byro, an Assyrian who out of loneliness had learned to speak Armenian. My mother brought the lovely visitor coffee and tobacco, and he rolled a cigarette and sipped and smoked. And then at last, sighing sadly, he said, my white horse, which was stolen last month, is still gone. I cannot understand it. My uncle Khusro became very irritated and shouted, it's no harm. What is the loss of a horse? Haven't we all lost the homeland? What is this crying over a horse? That may be all right for you, a city dweller, to say, John Barrow said. But what of my Surrey? What good is a Surrey without a horse? Pay no attention to it, my uncle Khusro roared. I walked 10 miles to get there, to get here, John Barrow said. You have legs, my uncle Khusro shouted. So dear students, what happened? One day John Barrow happened to come the narrator's home. Narrator's mother offered him coffee, cigarette, all these. It was their way of hospitality. So Uncle Khusro was also there. John Barrow was an Assyrian farmer, but because of loneliness, he learned to speak Armenian. He informed that his horse was missing, so that is why there was no use of his cart. And he also had gone there on foot. It was the distance of 10 miles. So it was a big distance to cover on foot. So at this, Uncle Khusro said, there is no loss in it. If you have lost the horse, we have lost the hometown. Okay, if you have lost the horse, there is no issue. Pay no attention to it. It is of, no harm. It is no harm. Now here, student, you can see how Robin was, repairing the wings of wings of a hurt robin bird. So it also tells that it also tells us that Murad had a good communication with all the animals. He was also an animal lover. He was also an animal lover. He loves animals too much, so that is why here he repairs the wings of a hurt robin bird. He also repairs the wings of a robin bird and then fly it away. So it shows that he was also an animal lover. Later in the story we will come to know. My left leg pains me, the farmer said. The farmer, John Byro, informed that his left leg pains him. Pay no attention to it, my uncle Khusro roared. So his uncle Khusro once again he roared, pay no attention to it. That horse cost me $60, the farmer said. The farmer informed him that horse cost him $60. I spit on money, my uncle Khusro said. Uncle Khusro said, I spit on money. Money has no value for me. He got up and stalked out of the house, slammed the screen door. So he got up and he moved out to the house by slamming the door. My mother explained, he has a gentle heart, she said. It is simply that he is homesick and such a large man. The farmer went away and I ran over to my cousin Murad's house. He was sitting under a peach tree trying to repair the hurt wing of a young robin which could not fly. He was talking to the bird. What is it? He said. The farmer John Byro, I said. He visited our house. He wants his horse. You have had it a month. I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride. It will take you a year to learn to ride, my cousin Murad said. We could keep the horse a year, I said. My cousin Murad replied to his feet. What? He roared. Are you inviting a member of the Garoglanian family to steal? The horse must go back to its true owner. When? I said. In 6 months at the latest, he said. He threw the bird into the air. The bird tried hard, almost fell twice, but at last flew away. High and straight. Early every morning for 2 weeks, my cousin Murad and I took the horse out of the barn of the deserted vineyard where we were hiding it and rode it. And every morning the horse, when it was my turn to ride alone, leaped over grapevines and small trees and threw me and ran away. Nevertheless, I hoped in time to learn to ride the way my cousin Murad rode. One morning on the way to Fitzjohn's deserted vineyard, we ran into the farmer John Byro, who was on his way to town. Let me do the talking, my cousin Murad said. I have a way with farmers. Good morning, John Byro, my cousin Murad said to farmer. The farmer studied the horse eagerly. So dear students, here we can see that when John Vairo left, the narrator went running to inform Murad that John Vairo, whom that horse belonged to, had come to his house. And he asked him not to return the horse until he would learn how to ride the horse. At this, Murad said it would take more than 1 year, and they could not keep the horse for 1 year. But he said he could keep the horse for the next 6 months. And at the same time, Murad was repairing the wings, as I have shown you in the slide. He was repairing the wings of a robin bird, hurt robin bird, and finally after 2 attempts it could fly. So all these things tells us that he could communicate with the animals very well, and he was also a good animal lover. So further, dear students, so it has been decided that they could keep the horse for 6 months. So every morning they used to ride the horse, Murad as well as Aram. But when it comes to ride alone for Aram, the horse, he did not allow him to ride alone. Once again here I am going to emphasize that as he could not communicate with the horse properly, and on the other hand Murad could communicate with the horse properly, so that is why he could ride the horse well. Okay, here dear students, you can see this is the John Vairo's farm. In this slide you can see this is the John Vairo's farm, in which dogs, and he was also having the other animals. John Vairo was also an animal lover. Okay, here dear students, last goodbye to the beautiful white horse. So when a conversation went on between the narrator and John Vairo, then Murad decided to give his horse back. So, good morning, son of my friends, he said. What is the name of your horse? My heart, my cousin Murad said in Armenian. A lovely name, John Vairo said, for a lovely horse. I could swear it is the horse of a horse that was stolen from me, many weeks ago. May I look into his mouth? Of course, Murad said. The farmer looked into the mouth of the horse. Tooth for tooth, he said. I would swear it is my horse if I didn't know your parents. The fame of your parents for honesty is well known to me. Yet the horse is the twin of my horse. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. Good day, my young friends. Good day, John Vairo. My cousin Murad said. Early in the following morning, we took the horse to John Vairo's vineyard and put it in the barn. The dogs followed us around without making a sound. The dogs, I whispered to my cousin Murad. I thought they would bark. So they would at somebody else, he said. I have a way with dogs. His nose into the horse, petted it, and then we went away. The afternoon John Vairo came to our house and showed my mother the horse. that had been stolen and returned. I do not know what to think, he said. The horse is stronger than ever, better tempered too. I thanked God. My uncle Khusro, who was in the parlor, became irritated and shouted, "Quiet, man, quiet! Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it." So, dear students, it's all about the chapter in which we have seen that uh, Murad could communicate well with animals, so that is why he could handle well the dogs, the horse, and even the bird. So it's all about the this chapter, and more discussion will be done in online classes. Thank you, students, for watching the video. See you tomorrow.